This video will focus on what is the blockchain and why it is so important to the underlying reasons for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency's rise. As a disclaimer, we're going to intentionally make this video as high level as possible because explaining the blockchain can get very technically complicated. And if you're here simply to invest in cryptocurrencies, it's not necessary to understand the minutia. Just like how if you wanted to be an investor in Google or Facebook or Amazon, you don't need to have a deep technical knowledge of how the internet works. You just need to be educated as to what those companies are doing with the internet. In the same regard, as an investor, you don't need to know all the ins and outs of the blockchain powering cryptocurrencies. You just need to be more focused on what those cryptocurrencies are doing with the blockchain. However, that being said, having a high-level understanding of what the blockchain is will give you a better appreciation as to why this technology is revolutionary and why it is causing cryptocurrencies to have such high valuations. From a cruising altitude, a blockchain might not look that different from things you're familiar with, say Wikipedia. With a blockchain, many people can write entries into a record of information, and a community of users can control how that record of information is updated. Likewise, Wikipedia entries are not the product of a single publisher. No one person controls the information because everyone has access. So what's interesting is that blockchain technology, for all its merits, is not a new technology. Rather, it's a combination of proven technologies applied in a new way. As we'll see, the blockchain is an orchestration of three principal technologies. First, the internet. Most people understand fundamentally what the internet is and what it's capable of. It's the most powerful communication network that has ever existed and allows for near instantaneous peer-to-peer communication all over the world. The internet laid the groundwork for the blockchain, as communication on the internet is allowed to be global, to cross borders freely. No one country truly owns all of the internet. This allows for a decentralized currency to exist, to utilize the framework of the internet to facilitate an economy not bound by borders. No country, no institution, no bank, no one person can claim to own cryptocurrencies, just like how no one person owns the internet. Cryptocurrencies are allowed to exist in a space outside of traditional nation-defined borders. Second, private key cryptography. We're definitely going to have to gloss over this section because cryptography can be a lot to decipher. But what's important is that the cryptography used by the blockchain solves some key issues that caused previous attempts at a digital decentralized currency to fail. Double spending, Byzantine fault tolerance, irreversible transactions, proof of work or proof of stake, enabling trustless consensus. It sounds like technobabble, and you don't need to understand all of it unless you really like computer science, but these are critical, extremely important problems that needed to be addressed so that they could solve two things. First, if you want to have a decentralized currency with no need for a middleman, a banker sitting between you and whoever you want to transact with. And second, the cryptography enables the blockchain to keep track of who owns what. Absolutely. This means the blockchain is fraud and counterfeit proof. As we've covered before, thanks to the internet, cryptocurrency is not bound to any country or bank. It's free of any borders. And thanks to the cryptography baked into the blockchain, cryptocurrency is not reliant on any country or bank. It can self-govern. This means you have absolute control of your money, which is not the case with government-issued currency. And you can transact extremely fast and for extremely low fees to anyone, anywhere. What makes this happen is a protocol governing incentivization. Think about how things are traded online in today's world. How do you trade with someone on the other side of the world that you've never met? In order to secure the network to allow trustless consensus between two people, meaning allowing two people to transact without the need to trust each other, that they'll hold up their end of the deal, and without the need for a middleman, such as a banker, making sure both people are acting honestly, you need to establish consensus. Or put another way, there needs to be a mechanism to make sure that both people hold up their end of the deal. The way the blockchain solves this is by having thousands of computers all working at the same time to verify this consensus. But then you solve one problem by creating another. How do you get thousands of computers all over the world to work to verify consensus on these transactions? Two of the most popular methods are known as proof of work and proof of stake, or otherwise known as mining and staking. For example, Bitcoin uses mining to secure its blockchain. Computers mine Bitcoin by solving extremely complicated math problems and are rewarded by receiving Bitcoin. The solutions to these complicated math problems are actually used for the second piece of the blockchain, which we just covered, cryptographically securing transactions. So this creates a nice feedback loop where to send transactions on the blockchain, you pay a small fee, which is in turn paid to the miners, and the miners are also generating brand new coins by mining. So they're incentivized to secure the network, allowing for fast and cheap transactions, which in turn promotes more transactions. The result is a system for digital interactions which does not need a trusted third party. The fee you pay to transact a cryptocurrency is often fractions of what a banker or credit card company would have charged. With no government or institution able to control cryptocurrencies, it's easy to look at crypto as a free market alternative to the government's monopoly on money. So again, we could absolutely go into more detail about how blockchains work and the specifics of what happens when you send and receive, details on mining, hashing, and everything else related to the technology stack of the blockchain. But when it really comes down to it, the blockchain is a revolutionary piece of technology and is what facilitates cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin to operate outside of conventions we normally associate with transactions and value. We believe the blockchain is one of the most important inventions of this century, and in time will become extremely widespread. Because of the blockchain, cryptocurrencies are more secure and efficient than traditional government-issued currencies. So in the next video, we'll talk about the future of cryptocurrencies and what that will look like as they push for mainstream adoption. Thanks for watching.